everybody. Uh, I'm blipping. I let's just go for it. Hi. This is normally my live show, Q&A, AMA, where I'm here to answer all of your questions. I've got a bunch of them ahead of time. Hi, Mike. I am trying to strip the show down so that this doesn't blip as much, so I don't even have our comments on the screen, and still it's blipping. So let me know in the chat if you can see me or hear me. Hi, Ana Lucia. Hi, Mike. I would say the cruise did not go well. I have the flu. I'm pretty sick, but I'm doing what I can. I am on my travel computer in my own house because our power has gone out about 50 times today. So I am trying to run off of my phone hotspot in case the house turns off again and I have no internet. So this looks pretty blippy. And but you tell me how it looks. Even if you don't see me very well, can you hear me okay? I would say hearing is probably more important than seeing. But Mike and Ana Lucia, tell me how it's sounding and looking, and I'll see if there's anything I can do to improve this. Though I don't think so. I think I might be as whatever as it is. Video. Okay, so it's showing me that it's blipping. The sound is fine. The image is slow. Okay, so that's fine. The image might be slow. Um, Hi. I do have some of your questions saved up from even 2 weeks ago. So if you'd like to ask a question, you can put it in the chat here. It won't come up on the screen since I have that turned off, but it will come into my email, which I will check, or I will see it in the chat room, which I am watching. Let's see, live on the channel. So I'll just tell you a little bit about my vacation since it's how I got the flu. And evidently, if you go on a very discount cruise, you go with very discount people. And these people seem to think that having the flu and coughing openly into the air without covering your mouth is the right thing to do. So once I got on the ship and saw what felt like hundreds of people going, well, I knew I was done. I knew I was in big trouble. I knew that I was going to get sick. I am always the first to get sick. Now, luckily, my husband and his mother didn't get sick. And I was also lucky that I really didn't get sick until about 2 days in, but it does mean I spent most of the cruise in bed. Not well. Hello. Oh no, you got the flu too last week. A lot of people are telling me that they got the flu. However, something fun did happen on the cruise before I got sick. The ship I was on holds a karaoke contest, which they treat as The Voice, like they license The Voice. Here's a picture of it. Whoa, no, why is my camera doing that? Oh no, it's trying to find a face. Oh no, now you're just seeing my house. Anyway, this is a picture. Oh no, I forgot to turn off the automatic tracking. Stop that, camera. Um, so I participated in The Voice at Sea, which is a karaoke contest. Let's see, what if I do this? Oh, that's a little better, the little close up. What if I do this? Oop, wrong way. This is my shipping station. If you order a signed book from me, this is where I'm signing it and boxing it up and sending it to you. So I'm sitting at my dining room table, and this is some of the dining room behind me. So, hi Ray. So, they do The Voice at Sea. It's basically a karaoke contest that happens over 2 days. And wouldn't you know, I actually won. So I was the voice at sea for last week on the Costa Smeralda cruise ship, and then immediately fell into bed with a fever, and I was a mess. And so that was fun. So I am drinking a giant soup and just trying to feel better. Oh no, Mike says his wife is sick. I have her in isolation in the bedroom. Yeah, I could not isolate too much on the cruise. I was sharing a cabin with my husband and his mother, who somehow they are made of strong stuff. They did not get sick. I did take a COVID test this morning since we came back last night very late, and I do not have COVID. And I didn't think I had COVID. This felt like flu. Yeah, the flu is not a good extra prize. Yeah, I think I would rather not have had the flu because then I did nothing. I didn't get off the boat. I didn't see ports. I was barely eating food. So like all the things I didn't swim, I didn't go to the spa, like all the things you imagine someone does on a cruise. Imagine me laying in bed, falling asleep. So that's that. So I'm wearing my least favorite sweatshirt just because I want to be comfortable. That's the name of the game right now. And of course, I forgot to say thank you to all of our fantastic Patreon members, both paid and unpaid, who are supporting my content. I'm very grateful to you for it. So you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/cxcc and join at the free or paid levels. So we do have some questions left over from 2 weeks ago that we didn't have time for, and then last week, which I tried to do from the cruise, and we couldn't get it going. Hi, Solomon. I ran your quadrant exercise with a small team at my current company and shared it with the product manager who ran it within engineering. It's a proud moment. That's great. That's great, 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 great. Someone on Twitch says, hey, I've been looking at boot camps and stumbled on your older videos discussing them. Really insightful. Yeah, if I can say no. Don't do the boot camps. No. I'd rather have flu than the vid. What's the vid? What are our choices here? Flu versus what? I don't want to have flu. I'm not happy I have flu. Do not get flu. Plus, as I said, the power to my house has been going on and off all night. I've asked the electrician to come over to price out some sort of battery backup for the house. Solar panels or not, we just need like a battery that can go on. So, yeah. Anyway, we do have questions. This is the questions thing, but I'm just catching up with all of you since I haven't seen you in 2 weeks. Solomon says, oh, COVID. Yeah. The vid. Yeah. I luckily do not have the COVID again. Now I'm wondering how to best communicate the full process with the stakeholders so they have an idea of what to expect step by step. Okay. Solomon, I'll add that as a question to our list. And give me a second to copy and paste that. I'm on my travel laptop, so everything is slower and weirder than usual. My big computer is just behind me on the other side of this wall, but our power keeps shutting off. So I'm just on my laptop and plugged into a backup battery, running on my 4G hotspot so that if the power goes out, we're all still together. All right, so let's bring up question number 1. And this was from actually 2 weeks ago that we never got to answer, so we'll get to it now. Excuse me, I've been drinking all this soup and I'm a little hiccupy. How would you approach setting up a voice of the customer program within a company? Mine is interested in voice of the customer, but the managers and main stakeholders see it just as a tool where they can put in transcripts from client success calls, filter by a keyword, or maybe do an AI analysis and get a list of customer problems to fix. That sounds like dreamy magic. So first of all, these are not necessarily the same thing. Customer success or client success or customer support, you should have software running at your company where every time someone has a call or an email or a ticket, they are entering it into this system with all kinds of keywords and tags so that these can then be analyzed later. We can see how many people called to complain about our pricing or a particular feature or something new we did, because this all has metadata and we can easily find that. Now, if you're searching for a keyword, that sounds like you already have a hint of what the problem is. So remember, you're less likely to find the real problems if you go searching for a particular keyword, because the real problems might be with the keywords you haven't thought of. Let's see. Thomas has a question that I'm not sure is serious, but we'll put it on the bottom of the list anyway because it's fun time. So how do you create a voice of the? Oh, thank you. I think someone subscribed or something. I didn't even see what happened there. Um, so, how do you start a voice of the customer program? So, a voice of the customer program is something where you need to be collecting a lot of different information from a lot of different sources. Yes, you want the information from your success or support team. I used to that could be as simple as a report or an Excel spreadsheet of some sort. That's how I used to get those from customer support when I worked at Macy's. Not that I'm saying they did everything well or right, they certainly didn't. But once a month, I got a spreadsheet from customer support showing me what were some of the common things they were hearing from customers. This was great because this absolutely surfaced things that were problems that we weren't talking about. I remember one month I saw all of these complaints about I can't pay my Macy's credit card bill in the app. So I started doing a little internal digging. Why can't people do that? And we found out we'd never built that. Okay, so maybe we should prioritize that. So getting that system in is certainly one piece. But usually for voice of the customer, we're trying to listen and compile information from other sources as well. These might be surveys. These might be social posts. What are people saying about you in things that we can find and scrape publicly? Excuse me, coughing is a key center of how my flu is manifesting. Um, so, what are we seeing in tweets or public social posts, or are people writing blog posts or Medium articles about us? So, again, all of these are the voice of the customer. It might also be, as I said, surveys, survey results, survey scores, changes in survey scores over time, or those answers. Some people are using tools for these things. I'm not an expert on the tooling, so I can't say, oh, everybody must use this system. I know some people use Qualtrics and stuff like that. Hashtag not sponsored. I don't use that. I don't know if Thomas has any suggestions on compiling voice of the customer data. But I think it's a lot of triangulating a lot of information from different systems and sometimes different teams. What does marketing know? What does sales know? What does customer support know? What about data and analytics? They've got lots of information. A lot of it might be quant, but some of it will be informative. Sorry about the lighting keeps changing. It's getting a little dark and weird outside, and I have one little light on me. So, how do you create a program? I think at the bottom line for the short answer, because this is not the core area of my specialty, would you be like anything else, start strategic and with a plan. What information are we collecting? Where are we getting it from? How are we going to save it and sort it and filter it? What kind of metadata are we going to be able to get from it? Do you think there's an AI tool that you can run on it and it magically gives you customer problems? I haven't seen that yet to my own personal satisfaction. If there's something out there doing a great job of it, that's cool. But so far, whenever I've asked AI to summarize things, it's made stuff up, it's missed important things. And so I personally don't trust the, hey, have AI tell us what's going on here. This is, if we really want to understand human experiences, and that's what voice of the customer is about, then I don't want to take the humanity out of it by asking robots to try to guess what's going on or what's not going on, or what seems like a more pressing problem and what seems like a lower priority problem. So that would be some of my suggestions there, which is not to overtrust AI with this stuff. But then, to me, the key thing where voice of the customer, I think where it falls apart the most at many companies is taking action. A lot of people tell me, hey, we collect voice of the customer data, we run surveys, we look at scores, and then we do nothing. Or we know what some of our problems are, but we don't prioritize fixing them because our company just wants to build the next shiny feature. So ultimately, if your company just claims it has a voice of the customer program or a CX program, but then you don't take action on making things better for customers, congratulations on your program, but it's probably not working. Let's see. Okay, we've got a question from Mighty Moon. I'll put that on the end. Let's get to our next question, which came in last week and we didn't get to it. I'm a full-time UX researcher for a mobile app. It seems all I do lately is usability testing, and now I've stopped because it's near the end of the year and we're waiting for a new budget for testing. What can I do as a researcher that doesn't require any money? I previously did competitor analysis, accessibility evaluation, and tree testing. What can I do else? Okay, so first of all, I would be fighting for budget that exists outside of usability testing for the thing we're working on exactly right now, because there's a lot more to research than is what we're working on right now a good solution for users? Is it logical, intuitive? Does it make sense? Is it easy to learn and easy to use? There's a lot more that we need to research and know. Now, if your company doesn't understand that, then you're stuck in a situation where you might have to show them the value of things, which we all hate doing. Nobody wants to have to prove the reason. I mean, you hired me, I shouldn't have to prove the value of what I do. You opened the job, you must know. But what I would probably do with no money is I would try to see if I could still spin up some interview and observational research, maybe with current customers who might be happy to give a little bit of their time for free when you tell them that their input will hopefully help improve things. And you just want to learn everything you can from them. What are some things that you believe your company doesn't really understand about customers? This is an opportunity for you to surprise them. Unfortunately, when we do research and we come back and go, yep, it's exactly what we thought, everybody's exactly who we thought they were, and no surprises, people go, well, what's the point? See, we were right. We already knew everything about customers. We know them. What can you learn about your target audiences or your customers that might surprise your teams, your coworkers? That's where people are going to go, oh wow, it's a good thing we did this research. We really didn't know that. Or we thought that, but it turns out we weren't really right. It's really this. So I would say see if you can create a research project, maybe with existing customers, where you say, we're sorry we don't have a budget to pay. We're hoping that people will give us some time to have their voices heard and be part of a feedback process and help us shape the future of our products and services. Sometimes you get those people who are like, yeah, I wanna help out. I've got something I want to say. And sometimes you get nobody because people want to be paid and they deserve to be paid. I was just posting about that on LinkedIn before the Thanksgiving holiday. So I would still I would go for it anyway. And depending upon where you are and what you're doing, once in a while, I even consider, is there a little money I can take out of my own pocket? So, like, for example, if your audience is the everyday person who you could find on Craigslist and other places, could you take $200 out of your pocket, give 10 people $20 each? Obviously check with your company if this is appropriate, but sometimes, like, I'm just trying some of these weird things just to talk to humans and learn more about them. So, looking back at the question. Yeah. So again, main thing that happens from competitor analysis is we learn that they suck too, or we try to start stealing from them. So I'm not a fan of competitor analysis. Accessibility evaluation, absolutely great. Better if you do something about it. If you find all these accessibility problems and then nobody does anything about it, then you need to have some tough conversations with people about why aren't we acting on this. Tree testing, again, if we find that our information architecture sucks, okay, but what are we doing about it? So I would say anything that you can do to learn more about target audiences and their tasks. What do they expect from you? What do they need from you? What does it look like for them to use your system now? Don't think of it as usability testing. You're not testing, is this the right solution and do we have a good design? Just watch people in your system, watch people outside of your system, and learn what are some obvious problems that we could solve? Where are the opportunities? And give some strategic suggestions of where we could prioritize. That's what I would say. Okay, let me get to the next question. Boy, I am extra slow today. Sorry about that. Being sick is just making me wacky. All right, paste new question. Smaller, 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 smaller. All right, smaller. Big story. Let's read it. Hello, Debbie. Our UX team was asked to describe their role, mission, and KPIs. For the UX researcher role, mine, management proposed the UX metrics as KPIs for the UX research role itself. From my experience, a UX researcher has limited influence on whether and how the reported actionable items from research are being implemented correctly and, in the end result, in improved UX and CX KPIs. So let's start with the first half of your question. I agree. It would be very hard. Let's imagine that the company has KPIs of we want to. Oh, hi, Amy. Oh, thanks, Amy. Let's imagine that your company has common KPIs like higher conversion rate or more retention, customers staying with us longer. Can great UX research improve those? Yes. Is that easy to prove? Not always. And are there a lot of things that can go wrong between your research and the customer's choice to stay longer or not that you had nothing to do with? Right. You know it. So I would definitely be talking to your manager, or feel free to show your manager this video. Hi, researchers manager, I'm Debbie. And I would say a few things. First of all, I noticed that when you're trying to measure a person's job by KPIs, that takes away some of the humanity of the job. The UX and CX jobs are really about people. They're about our customers, our target audiences, understanding them, understanding what they need, who they are, what are our opportunities to do something good or great for those people. Can you measure that? Does that go with a number? Can you tell me I'm doing my job well based on a number? Can you tell me I'm doing my job badly based on a number? So I think that this is the wrong way to go. We do this with engineers, and I'm not even sure that's the right way to go. We say to an engineer, how much did you get done? Okay, here's your velocity. So we think you're fast or slow or good or bad. Research is not like that. Research is not better when it's faster. Or research is not better if you got more sticky notes than this person or this other time. We're not really about numbers. That's why a lot of times you see the word qualitative research. It's about the quality of what we learn, not about the quantity of what we learn. So I would advise your manager, and again, you're welcome to show them this video since this message comes from me. Measuring a UX practitioner by KPIs is very difficult. If you are going to say, was this researcher ultimately responsible for a higher conversion rate, let's say, then my question to you would be, did you empower them to be responsible for a higher conversion rate? Did you give them the time and resources and money to do amazing research? Did you then wait until you got that research back, not plan a project, not come up with features, not come up with solutions to problems you didn't yet understand? Did you wait for the research? Did you then use the research information to guide priorities, to help designers come up with solutions? Did you go with the solutions that the designers came up with, or did you overrule them because someone had a cool idea that they wanted to use? Did you empower anybody along this process to be measured by conversion rate or loyalty or NPS score? Because usually you haven't. And in that case, it's absolutely unfair to measure UX people in these ways. Is UX work and CX work responsible for these customer outcomes? Absolutely. All you have is your customer experience. And if we don't understand people, that will show in what we deliver them. We will have failed launches, failed A/B tests, failed experiments, failed MVPs, and we'll pretend that those were good and we'll pretend that we learned something, but the real message should be, oops, we really don't know our users. We thought we were building something that they wanted. We were wrong. So a missed KPI doesn't mean your researcher was bad or that your designer was bad. A missed KPI for the team, for the project, says we didn't work from the right information and we didn't empower UX to do a better process. Because if we had empowered UX to do a better process and we worked from the good evidence from researchers and we let designers solve problems instead of just take orders, maybe we'd have a better outcome that didn't come from guessing and the ego of we know our users, we know what they need. Because as soon as we have a failure, we have to say to ourselves, we don't know what they need. So KPIs are the wrong ways to measure humans in general. I think it's an inhuman way to measure humans. So UX researchers manager, please don't measure this or anybody else on these KPIs. It's just not human. And I think it will cause morale problems. And I think it will cause people to doubt their abilities, because our abilities are really about being detectives, being critical thinkers, asking questions, answering questions. You can't boil that down to numbers. You just can't. You shouldn't. I know I wouldn't want to be measured that way. Would you, UX researchers manager, would you want to be measured that way? Should we take everything you're doing as a manager to support your researcher and go, yeah, but what's your numbers? Where's your numbers? Prove to me the value of your work with the numbers. And you're going like, yeah. Second half of this question says, which KPIs to measure the impact or effectiveness of UX research do you recommend? How do I convince management UX research impact happens over the problem exploration process? Well, okay, give them my book. It's right behind me. Please hold. Where's my book? Help. Oh my God. My arms don't want to work. Everything hurts. Is everybody else feeling like I am? Everything hurts? Hello. Sorry, my camera's trying to auto-track me today. And my dog wants to be on the show, too. Customers Know You Suck. This is my book about customer centricity. And some of it is about KPIs and measuring it. But the idea is that customer centricity happens. You want to be on the show? Okay. Ready? And soup. Oh, here we go. Okay. So, sorry, we just came home from a vacation. And this morning is the first time my dog has seen me in a week and a half, and she's a little clingy. The other four are outside doing their own thing. This is Olivia. So, yes, we need to make sure, and again, show your manager this video. We need to make sure people understand that measuring human work with numbers, especially qualitative work and things that are creative and use deductive reasoning and logic and critical thinking, like UX research and content and design, you can't measure it with a KPI. And if you are going to measure with KPIs the whole project or the product, good, do it. But then use that to ask questions like, oh, we missed our KPIs. Oh, sorry, that's Google Home reminding me the dogs have to go back. The dogs have to go back, but not you. I'm older and it does not hurt. I don't know what you're talking about, Jean-Francois, but it's good to see you. Ana Lucia, she deserves extra cuddles. Yeah, she does. They evidently escaped the fenced area one day to kill a hedgehog, and then the carpenter put them back. Other than that, they seem just fine for the time away. So yeah, I know this is kind of a long waffly answer. I don't think I have a fever anymore, but I did, and so sorry about the long waffly answer. I hope this helps, and please reach out to me personally if you think I can help further. Let's take a look at our next question. We've got 3 more, and then I am checking out of here. I am low energy. Let's go to Solomon's question. You just asked if we heard also. Oh, I don't even remember. All right. I ran your okay. Solomon said he ran the quadrant exercise. And then a product manager also ran it. It was a proud moment. That's beautiful. I'm so happy the quadrant worked. Let's see. I didn't erase that one. That looks like this. Yay. That's episode 196 for those of you who want to get to know the quadrant. And just go to YouTube and write CXCC 196. So, I know, I got you. I promise I got you. I'm not letting go. Solomon says, I'm wondering how to best communicate the full process with the stakeholders so they have an idea of what to expect from step to step. Yeah, there's a little bit of that in episode 196. And then the rest of that is really in the book. I think in chapter 18, perhaps, in part 4. Part 4 of the book. So if you don't have Customers Know You Suck, definitely get it because I talk about where the quadrant exercise can help us understand what we don't know, get some buy-in for research, keep us from rushing into solutions for problems and people we don't understand yet. So what can you expect from step to step? The next step after that is usually to do some research and some digging. You're going to do some internal digging to see which of the questions on the quadrant you can answer internally. Okay, bye. Hello again, and which questions are best answered through research with target audiences, which then researchers or somebody needs to spin up and do. So what can they expect from step to step? The next thing they can expect is knowledge, is to get these questions answered from the knowledge quadrant. That's what I do. I say, great, now that we got all of these on the board, we're going to go find out the answers to these. Some of them we're going to find out internally from customer support, data and analytics, whoever knows. And some of these we're going to spin up a user research study where we can get these answered. And then I make sure, of course, that eventually my report or presentation or however I'm doing it answers as many of the questions as possible. And that's when you start blowing people's minds. Because I say, hey, look, 3 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, 2 months ago, whatever it is, we had all these questions. And it wasn't smart of us to move forward until we had some answers. But then we did these studies or we did this stuff, we have these answers. So that's really the next thing. The next thing is for people to be informed. That's the next step. And then I go into more of the steps, I think, in chapter 18 in the book. So yeah, you can get the book for as little as $1 at cxcc.to/CKYS. I have the PDF and EPUB for Name Your Own Price as little as $1. And on the CXCC YouTube channel, I have the audiobook for free. So you can technically enjoy my book for free or nearly free if you would like. Wow, my energy is low today. How's everybody else feeling? All right, we have a probably not serious question from Thomas. Do you feel like prog metal helps you to be a better problem solver in CX and UX concerns? I would say it doesn't help me be a better problem solver, but I would definitely say it's great for my mood and great for breaking up my workday. Many of you know I'm a singer, and some of you learned I'm a very serious singer since I won the karaoke contest on the cruise ship I was just on. So I'm quite a serious singer. So I would say prog metal in my life, especially bands like Epica, Ayreon, Ayreon, Stream of Passion, anything Marcella Bovio does. Toehider, who wrote our theme song, Toehider. That's Mike Mills. Love him. The things that these people have done are just so good for my soul. This is something that absolutely makes my life better for being in it. These people and their music. And so I don't think it makes me a better problem solver, but it makes my day absolutely happier. And a fun side fact, I find that this music is also great, though really you could use any music, for turbulent airplanes. Let me explain. I've been on a lot of turbulent airplanes lately, and I find that what a lot of people do is they tense up. When the airplane starts shaking and rocking and it's storming, they tense up and sometimes they grab the seat in front of them, right? Or they grab their spouse or they tense up. Then you know what? You really feel the turbulence because your body is fighting it, absolutely fighting it. So you feel every movement and you probably feel sicker and more afraid. What I do is I've got my headphones in and I pick some of my prog metal that I enjoy, usually Epica or Arion, and I turn it way up. And first of all, I close my eyes. Then you don't see the movement of the plane and you don't see people panicking. You get to see whatever is in your head. The next thing I do is I let my body go completely loose. And I just go with the movement of the plane, go with the movement of the song. Does that mean I look like this at my seat? Absolutely. Am I doing some dancing? Sure. Am I acting out the song a little bit for my own distraction? Yes. Do people think I'm weird? Absolutely. But am I crying, vomiting, pooping my pants? No. We were on a flight a few years ago where people actually pooped their pants. It made the news here locally. The turbulence was that bad, and I just went loose and just went with all the plane's motions. So the great thing is you don't know if you're dancing or the plane's moving. And that is my secret of how to deal with airplane turbulence. Dance, whatever music makes you want to move your body. Ana Lucia says, I'm still feeling quite sleepy from being sick. I could sleep 24 hours. I'm better now. Good. I'm happy you are. I'm still getting there. I slept okay last night in my own bed, but I still have that I'm on a cruise ship feeling. I'm still doing this, which is sad because almost all of my time on a cruise ship was in bed. All right, I think we have another question or two. We have another question. Thank you for Mighty Moon for waiting, since I tend to give long answers. All right, here we go. I recently did around 10 user interviews. Post launching our product, there's so much data in those interviews that I feel overwhelmed. What's the best way to approach analysis and synthesis? Great question, Mighty Moon. And great idea that you did some real interviews, hopefully some observations with people as well, not just talking to them, but watching them. Just doing their stuff. Doesn't even have to be in your system, just learning about those tasks. So when you have this much data, what I like to do is I create some blank Miro frames or areas based on what were my original research questions. Oh, are people asking questions and I'm not seeing them come in? No. Okay. Look back at your research plan. Hopefully you had one. What were some of your original research goals? What were you hoping to learn about? Not hypothesis or I believe this. You don't want to put that in there. But why were you doing research? What were you hoping to learn more about? And then what I do is I start by taking a Miro frame and I make that frame or column or rectangle or whatever based on a particular research question. Then I go through all of my notes or I read through the transcript or I watch the video again and I'm listening for all of the nuggets. Any time where someone either answered one of those questions or gave some information, or sometimes they start talking about an unrelated thing, but you're like, oh, this is really important. This has nothing to do with what we were trying to study, but this is still a really important topic. Like, I'm getting heavily involved right now at my job in transgender issues because we did a study recently, and we weren't specifically trying to study a transgender experience in our system, but I ended up finding that there was a very bad uh, uh, negative. Am I still live? Oh, am I still here? I better check. I don't even know. This looks like I'm still here. Oof. I am having a bad internet day. Anyway, I while I tried to figure out if I'm still live, I ended up learning about an issue that is affecting our transgender audience, and I'm going to be chasing after that. Even though that wasn't an original interview, we had no questions on it. It was just something that I happened to notice. Why can't I even get to? I can't get to anything. Weird. Sorry, everybody. If you're asking questions or commenting on anything right now, I can't even see it. Let me see if I can get back to it. The live was suddenly over and a new live was generated. Yeah, sorry about that. News to me. I think what happened was I'm on my hotspot because I was so afraid of the power going out to my house and losing the home internet. So I got on my hotspot, and then someone called me, and I think the phone call dropped my hotspot. So I guess I just can't win today. But let's go to this last question and see if we can at least wrap some things up. Yeah, sorry, Mighty Moon. So analysis and synthesis is start breaking it up by what questions you were trying to get answered. This could be the questions you ask the people. It could be other types of topics. And feel free to add sections to your board as you go. Hey, we didn't even ask people about their transgender experience, but whoa, we found some stuff. I'm now going to make a section on my board about that or about DEI issues or things like that. So the amount of data is overwhelming, but it is part of the job to start to pick and choose through that. That's the analysis, breaking things apart, synthesis, bringing things together. So I would just say you have to go for it. I don't think there is a trick. I don't believe in AI trying to summarize things. It's making stuff up. It's missing too much stuff. I would definitely say this is still something you have to do manually. I remember you say you have questions for my research plan and have it on the Miro board. Yeah. So can you give me an example of one of the questions from your research plan? If you're comfortable sharing that, you don't have to. Cold soup. Yeah, but that's how we do it. And so we just put up sections of the Miro board ready for sticky notes to go there. And then when I look at my notes, or we watch back a video, or we read a transcript, then you have some of those questions fresh in your mind. They're right there on your Miro board, and you go, oh, yeah, here's that person talking about that topic. We ask them, how do they approach this type of task? What do they do first before they even go into our system? What are some things they do first? And here's somebody talking about that. So I'll make a note here that participant 1 did this. And I'll usually tag a Miro board note with which participant it is, in case I want to try to go back and get a quote out of that or a video clip. It was about onboarding. Yeah, I find a lot of people study onboarding, and in some cases, it's the least of somebody's problems of a thing. I don't know why people study onboarding as much as they do. Onboarding should be the least that people can do to get using your system. If your system doesn't need their name, don't ask their name. If your system doesn't need their email, don't ask it. If your system doesn't need their credit card, don't take it. So onboarding to me is what is the least we can do so that we get people using the system and don't turn onboarding into a tutorial. If it is effective or useful for our users using Pendo guides. Yeah, I don't know what a Pendo guide is, but I'm wondering if it's the kind of thing I just said where when you start. Oop, what just happened? When people start, you try to tell them, "Oh, hey, welcome to our system. This is over here, and you can do this here." I'm completely against those because if your system is logical and intuitive and well designed, you don't need to do that. It's easy to use, right? So if you really want to test something like, why does it look like you have a roll of wallpaper behind you with little copies of your book on it? Yes, because I have stickers. It's a roll of stickers. This is my shipping station for if you buy a signed book from me. Oop, I'm frozen. This is a shipping station. If you buy my signed book, I have little book stickers I put on the package. But anyway, back to Mighty Moon. Mighty Moon, the best way to test something like Pendo or these walkthroughs at the beginning is don't ask people to use them. Don't ask people if they liked them. Don't ask people what they remember about them. These are, in my opinion, flawed research techniques that are common but are incorrect. The real test is give people a task past them. So let's say that this is a system where people have to sign up for an account and then attach their bank account to it so they can do some sort of financial thing. I made this up. I have no idea what you do. But, ooh, this stream looks sad. I hope it's working. Can people still hear me okay? Um, so basically, what you should do is you should say, okay, you've arrived on, this is your first time on our site, and you are, you need to make a money transfer. Go. Now, notice I told them the final thing that I needed them to do. I didn't say anything about use our tutorial, take our tutorial, click through our tutorial. I just told them, you're here to transfer money. You know, it's okay if you put in fake account information. Go. You will learn very quickly how many people do not want to watch your tutorial. Yeah, I know I'm blipping. I don't know why. I don't think there's much that I can do here. My internet looks good, so I'm not too sure what to do. But, and Mighty Moon, you can always contact me privately to talk more about this if you're in our Slack or Discord community, deltacx.com/links. Those are free. But ultimately, I think the mistake people make with onboarding and walkthrough things is they're trying to prove that the walkthrough thing is good, when in reality, a great product and a great design doesn't need a walkthrough thing. If this is easy to learn and easy to use, I don't need a tutorial. I don't want to go to school. And maybe the next time I come back, I've forgotten how to use it. So it has to be obvious and logical. It can't be something that requires me to take a class every time I come. So the best way to test it is just to give people the ultimate task that they're there to do. You're here to send somebody money. You're here to plan a project. You're here to create a checklist of things you need to buy when shopping. Give them the real task, and you'll see if they look at your Pendo guide, or if they, especially if there's a button, make sure there's a button to skip it or close it. Do they just skip it or close it and assume that they'll be able to do this themselves? Can people still see and hear me? Is this making sense? Even if you can't see me, can you hear me? Because I'm saying a lot of words and I hope you can hear them. Testing, testing. Oh, I just heard someone subscribe or something. Thank you for that. Thank you very much. Anyway, this has been a little bit wacky. I'll put up the recording of this since it's probably better than the stream. But I would say be careful of testing onboarding from the perspective of, do people remember anything from it? No, they don't. And especially you're asking them if they remember something seconds after they saw it. What will they understand about using your system months from now? So again, I would say, Mighty Moon, reach out if I can be of some direct help to you. Um, yeah. I'll wrap up and take these down and post the good recording. All right, so let's wind it up. Sorry again about the technical issues. I'm hoping when I see my electrician later, we'll be able to do something with the power in my house so that it stops going out randomly and we can get some more reliable streams cooking again this winter. But thanks to everybody who joined. I'll be doing these shows all through the holiday season with, I think no, I think all through the holiday season. But Mighty Moon, let's talk more. I hope to help you out. Again, thanks to everybody for joining. I'm just going to say a quick goodbye and end the show a bit abruptly, and then I'll upload the good recording so people can watch that. Thanks for your patience, and see everybody soon. Bye.